The fashion industry thrives on secrecy, anticipation, and timing. Every campaign, especially those involving global icons, is strategically planned to create maximum impact upon release. But in early October 2025, that system was disrupted. Without any official announcement, a series of high-resolution photographs allegedly featuring BTS's Jungkook for the upcoming Calvin Klein 2025 campaign began circulating online. Within hours, the images spread across multiple platforms, from niche fashion forums to massive social media channels, igniting a wave of speculation, excitement, and controversy. The leak, though not confirmed by Calvin Klein at the time, seemed too authentic to dismiss. The lighting, styling, and production quality aligned perfectly with the brand's signature aesthetic: minimalist, monochrome, and intimate. In the images, Jungkook appeared wearing pieces that had not yet been part of any known Calvin Klein collection. His presence was confident but natural, suggesting a professionally directed shoot. Fans immediately identified the setting as consistent with previous Calvin Klein campaigns photographed in New York, leading to theories that these were indeed official promotional materials prematurely released. The timing of the leak made the situation even more complex. Calvin Klein had been teasing a global surprise campaign scheduled for late October, coinciding with the brand's 2025 fall collection reveal. Industry insiders hinted that the campaign would involve a returning ambassador with unmatched global influence. That alone had already sparked curiosity, and with Jungkook's global ambassadorship since 2023, fans began connecting the dots. However, what started as an exciting moment for ARMY and fashion followers soon evolved into a heated debate. Some praised the leaked images as proof of Jungkook's unparalleled professionalism and charisma, while others expressed frustration that such a significant campaign might have been compromised by the premature exposure. A number of analysts even questioned whether the leak was accidental at all. Could it have been part of a calculated marketing move? For a brand like Calvin Klein, known for its provocative and conversation-driven marketing tactics, this possibility wasn't far-fetched. In the past, the label has intentionally pushed boundaries, blurring the line between scandal and promotion. The 2025 leak, therefore, brought both admiration and skepticism. Social media comments oscillated between awe and suspicion. Was this a true security breach or a masterstroke of digital age publicity? Fashion journalists were quick to dissect every visible detail. From the faint reflection in the mirror of one image to the logo positioning on Jungkook's waistband, nothing escaped scrutiny. Some noticed what appeared to be the letters CK25 subtly embossed on the backdrop, something that had not been seen in prior campaigns. That tiny clue fueled even more speculation, suggesting that the leaked materials were not old or recycled, but part of an upcoming release. Meanwhile, Calvin Klein's corporate silence only amplified the noise. No statement was made in the first 48 hours following the circulation, which led to contradictory narratives forming online. One faction of fans insisted that the brand was preparing to take legal action against whoever leaked the files. Another faction argued that Calvin Klein was simply observing the viral reaction before making any move, perhaps even planning to use the momentum as part of the official rollout. Both theories had merit, and both contributed to keeping the topic trending worldwide. The power dynamics between fandoms and fashion houses became evident once again. In today's digital era, where an image can reach millions in seconds, the control brands once had over their campaigns has weakened. Yet this very loss of control often fuels even greater attention. Jungkook's association with Calvin Klein had already transformed the brand's image since his debut collaboration in 2023. Sales in Asia had soared, and the brand gained unprecedented exposure among Gen Z and millennial audiences. A leak involving Jungkook wasn't just a marketing mishap, it was a global cultural event. Interestingly, not all reactions were positive. Some fashion critics expressed concerns about the oversaturation of celebrity-driven campaigns. They argued that relying too heavily on pop idols for luxury branding might dilute the artistic core of fashion itself. But even within those critiques, Jungkook's professionalism was rarely questioned. His ability to embody Calvin Klein's identity, sensuality mixed with subtle rebellion, had been consistently praised. The debate, therefore, wasn't about Jungkook as a performer or model, but about the evolving landscape of fashion marketing in the age of fandom influence. By the end of that week, hashtags such as hashtag Jungkook Calvin Klein 2025, hashtag CKLeak, and hashtag Golden Campaign had accumulated hundreds of millions of impressions. Memes, fan edits, and breakdown videos flooded YouTube and TikTok, further amplifying the discussion. Ironically, the more people talked about the leak, the more valuable the campaign became. Some marketing experts suggested that Calvin Klein could actually benefit from the situation, turning what appeared to be an uncontrolled event into a deliberate pre-release buzz. Still, the authenticity of the photos remained unconfirmed. Calvin Klein's official social accounts maintained their regular posting schedule, showing no acknowledgement of the viral storm. Jungkook himself, known for his discretion and professionalism, made no comment either. The silence from both parties created a unique tension, a digital cliffhanger that held the audience captive. Every day, without confirmation, added another layer of intrigue. This balance between exposure and secrecy became the defining theme of the incident. Was this a moment of crisis management or a pioneering marketing experiment? The blurred boundary made it impossible to tell. Yet one fact was undeniable. The world was once again reminded of Jungkook's immense global pull, capable of dominating conversations across industries, from music to fashion and now, digital culture. When the first 72 hours of the photo leak passed without a single official statement, many assumed that Calvin Klein and HYB were operating under a well-rehearsed crisis protocol. Both companies had previously demonstrated a preference for precision, acting only when necessary, never impulsively. In an industry where perception defines profit, timing a response is often more critical than the response itself. And in this case, silence seemed to serve as a deliberate move. Behind closed doors, marketing experts speculated that Calvin Klein's executive team was assessing three critical factors: the scale of the leak, the source of the breach, and the public's emotional trajectory. In brand management terms, this phase is known as the monitoring window, during which a company evaluates whether an incident is escalating or stabilizing. Ironically, the conversation surrounding Jungkook's alleged campaign appeared to be doing both, expanding in visibility while stabilizing in sentiment. The public tone was neither hostile nor dismissive. It was curious, engaged, and overwhelmingly attentive. That type of attention, in marketing metrics, translates directly into potential impact. Meanwhile, analysts noted a subtle but strategic shift in Calvin Klein's official digital behavior. Though the company did not reference the leak, its social media engagement rate increased significantly. Cryptic teaser videos featuring minimalist visuals, black and white fabric close-ups, a slow zoom on Calvin Klein's embossed logo, and ambient soundscapes began appearing across the brand's regional accounts. The captions were short, almost vague, reading, "Coming soon." These posts were enough to keep speculation alive without confirming anything. It was a masterclass in narrative-controlled. HYB, Jungkook's agency, maintained an even stricter silence. In previous controversies involving BTS members, HYB had been known to issue statements quickly, whether to clarify misunderstandings or protect the artist's privacy. But this time, the absence of comment suggested something different. Perhaps the company understood that this leak posed no reputational risk. On the contrary, the association of Jungkook with a new Calvin Klein project only reinforced his image as an international style icon. There was no damage to repair, only curiosity to maintain. Corporate insiders, speaking anonymously in several fashion discussions, hinted that both entities were aware of the leak's marketing value. Sometimes, one branding consultant noted, a leak can achieve what a press release cannot: genuine organic reach. This statement reflected a growing truth in the digital age. Consumers trust what appears unscripted more than what is officially presented. If the leak was accidental, it demonstrated how modern fandom can transform a small breach into a global phenomenon. If it was intentional, It revealed the sophistication of contemporary marketing psychology. Interestingly, even while speculation grew, search data and online metrics painted a clear picture. Searches for Jungkook Calvin Klein 2025 multiplied by more than 10 times compared to previous months. Traffic to Calvin Klein's official store surged, and certain items resembling those in the leaked images sold out within hours. Whether or not the photos were meant to surface early, the commercial benefit was undeniable. Calvin Klein had once again captured global attention without paying for a single additional ad placement. However, the ethical debate was impossible to ignore. Within the professional fashion community, the incident triggered discussions about data security, intellectual property, and creative integrity. Some photographers and creative directors expressed frustration, arguing that leaks disrupt the narrative structure of a campaign. Every visual release is part of a sequence, from teaser to reveal to full editorial drop, and when a leak occurs, that structure collapses. It alters audience expectation and sometimes undermines the emotional impact of the official debut. It's like revealing the final scene of a film before it premieres, one art director commented. Yet others argued the opposite. In today's media landscape, controlled unpredictability is the new storytelling. A leak doesn't necessarily spoil the narrative, it reshapes it. For Jungkook and Calvin Klein, the conversation around the unauthorized photos transformed what would have been a routine campaign launch into a global event. Instead of a brand telling its audience when to look, the audience discovered the content themselves, creating an illusion of exclusivity and discovery that traditional advertising rarely achieves. The cultural implications extended beyond fashion. Jungkook's recurring partnership with Calvin Klein symbolized more than commercial collaboration. It reflected a shift in global celebrity branding. Unlike previous decades, where models and musicians operated in separate spheres, the new era of digital influence demanded convergence. A single personality could now represent art, music, lifestyle, and commerce simultaneously. Jungkook's brand power illustrated this shift perfectly, a synthesis of music fandom and fashion aspiration. The leak, in that sense, became a case study in how global idols now function as hybrid ambassadors across industries. Meanwhile, in online spaces, the debate evolved. Some users believed that the photo's timing, just 3 weeks before Calvin Klein's scheduled campaign drop, was too perfect to be accidental. Others cited metadata analyses of the images, claiming that they contained timestamps from late September 2025, aligning with Calvin Klein's usual production calendar. The digital investigation itself became a form of public entertainment, with users decoding clues and cross-referencing old campaign schedules like detectives piecing together evidence. Through all this, Jungkook remained entirely silent, a silence that some fans described as professional restraint. His personal brand had always been built on mystery, consistency, and subtlety rather than overt self-promotion. By saying nothing, he maintained the credibility that modern consumers respect, letting the work speak for itself. The public's focus remained on the artistry of the images rather than his personal reaction, which may have been precisely the outcome Calvin Klein hoped for. As the second week unfolded, the company finally made a minimal but telling move. A new promotional video appeared on the official Calvin Klein homepage. It featured a rapid montage of blurred silhouettes, one of which unmistakably resembled Jungkook's physique and posture, accompanied by the tagline, "The world saw first. Now see it right." The wording was clever, subtle, and intentional. Without ever acknowledging the leak directly, Calvin Klein effectively turned it into part of the official campaign narrative. What had begun as an unauthorized exposure was now recast as an orchestrated introduction. This moment marked a shift from containment to capitalization. Rather than deny or erase the leaked material, Calvin Klein chose to absorb it into its messaging, transforming potential chaos into coherence. It was an example of adaptive marketing at its finest, a reminder that in the age of viral media, control isn't about prevention but redirection. By embracing the story instead of resisting it, Calvin Klein positioned itself once again as a brand fluent in the language of digital culture. Still, questions lingered. Who leaked the photos in the first place? Was it an internal mishap, an external breach, or a carefully timed release designed to test public reaction? No answers surfaced, and perhaps none were ever intended to. The ambiguity became part of the allure, a mystery sustained by design. What was certain, however, was that the incident had blurred the lines between authenticity, strategy, and spectacle. In a single event, the world witnessed how one artist's image could command global attention, how one brand's silence could amplify curiosity, and how one leak could redefine marketing playbooks for years to come.